Well, good morning to you, Desiree, and to the viewers at home. Of course, as you've said, it's day 2 of 4 days here at the Cape Town International Convention Center, where the Investing in African Mining Indaba is underway. Of course, what we do expect any moment from now, just behind me, President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to deliver the keynote address at this conference. Of course, that was preceded by the Mineral Resources and Energy Minister yesterday, Gwede Mantashe, who had also welcomed the delegates that have gathered here and also giving them the assurance that South Africa is on par and is willing to fix the energy crisis that is facing the country, going a step further to say that the government hopes to fix this load shedding problem within 12 months. Whether that will be achieved, it's something that we'll have to wait and see. Of course, Minister Gwede Mantashe will be accompanying the president again this morning, and the president, of course, is expected to actually give also assurances to all the investors that are here, as well as mining companies that comes from all parts of the world, that South Africa is still a safe and a reliable place to invest in. Of course, there will be tough questions that will be asked around the government's action plan in terms of dealing with the energy crisis, because the mining sector did experience some levels of lower growth last year due to the load shedding crisis. Minister Mantashe going as far as saying that the country was losing about 1 billion rand a day last year due to the load shedding. So the president will have to give certain assurances that the government is on top of things, and the plans that are in the pipeline or are in place will be delivered to ensure that there is energy security in the country, Desiree.
Yes, Naledi Bulelani, well, we've had yesterday a very packed program where you had the Mineral Resources Minister Gwede Mantashe also addressing the conference. I'm keen to hear about the people that are in the room engaging on the mining industry on the African continent, and key moments that certainly have come out of day one.
Well, today, as I've said earlier on, the main attraction is the President Cyril Ramaphosa, who was due to deliver his keynote address at 9 o'clock this morning. I'm not too sure yet whether he has arrived at the venue, but also other key speakers that we expect in the course of the day is the outgoing Eskom CEO, Mr. Andre de Ruyter. He will be participating in one of the discussions, I think around 11 o'clock. Again, another major parastatal that will take a center stage here. The CEO of Transnet, Portia Derby, is also expected to participate in one of the discussion points here later on around midday. So those are the three main lineups of the day. But of course, everything is going to be around how the state-owned companies can actually assist, the mining sector in terms of their, infrastructure to assist that sector, because you know that with load shedding, there has been delays at ports and railway lines in terms of exports, and that has actually had a knock-on effect in terms of growth. So Transnet will have to come on board and give their plans in terms of how they deal with these things. Of course, Eskom, the elephant in the room, they will have to also outline actually the plans that they intend to undertake, particularly in the short term, because of this on and off of load shedding that keeps on going at all different levels. And I think investors here would be asking for some sustainability measures in terms of the reliability of electricity provision, because for some it would be difficult to actually make any commitments to invest in the country if there is no reliable energy supply.
Well, we're running live visuals, Bulelani, from the plenary room at the African Mining Indaba. I'm keen to hear just in terms of the numbers that have arrived. I mean, we're seeing a packed plenary room certainly at this conference. I'm wondering just what you're hearing from the international community and the presence of the international community, considering the fact that the globe really is going through an energy crisis and the fact that the world is really looking at Africa for answers.
Well, I think must look at the background of how the global economy has been performing over the past 3 years. You must remember there was a period where there were many parts of the world that were under lockdown, so that actually restricted, the issues of exports, and that also led to lower growth. So I think given that everybody around the world is actually trying to recover from that stage, I think the mining sector will also be looking at how South Africa, given all of those challenges that it had, like the rest of the world under lockdown, are actually going to be improved, particularly now that they have another problem child in the house, which is load shedding. So those matters will actually be topping the agenda. In fact, it has been one of the issues that has been raised from commission to commission that I've listened to. And of course, the mining sector again is saying that they do want to engage with other state-owned enterprises as well as government to ensure that how the mining sector, or well, the private sector, can actually be able to on their own generate a capacity of energy, so that they are reducing the dependency on the grid, so that the country again could be in a position where there is a surplus rather than there is a higher demand that the country cannot meet. So those are the issues that are topping the agenda here, Desiree, and therefore, these are the issues that I think even the president is going to be preoccupied on when he delivers the keynote address. Of course, he did deliver an energy plan in July last year. I'm sure he's going to give an outline in terms of how that energy plan has actually enabled the country to mitigate some of the load shedding challenges. But whether that will satisfy some of the investors, it's something that we'll probably be watching after that speech is delivered in any moment from now.